What's up, and welcome to your 6th JavaScript tutorial. I have the solution from the last problem. This is the what did we call it? A conversion table. Yes. Centimeters, feet, and miles. You'll see that I repeated myself in the miles because you have to take it from inches to feet, and then from feet 5,280. That's all just math stuff. Remember your commas, and yes, so here we have our conversion variable, and we're setting it equal to inches to oh, you know what, that's actually, it should be units. Okay, I had a bug in my program, and well, if you're wondering, inches to unit is undefined because inches to does not specify a property called unit. However, if we take away the quotes, now it's going to search inside the variable called unit and find that it's the string cm, which is a key or a property in inches to. And when we run this, we see to convert from inches to centimeter, you multiply by 2.54. Wonderful. I also want you to notice what I did with the, I kind of made it a multi-line string, and well, this white space ended up making it look strange on the console, but that's alright. You can do this, but only with the tick mark strings. You can't do it with double or single quotes. In fact, just look at that. VS Code recognizes that we have an error here because single quotes and double quotes only work when they're on the same line. So really, it's seeming to me that one of these backtick marks is like a universal string. It's kind of like a super string. It not only does it accept string interpolation, but it also works across multiple lines. I think that's pretty cool. And even if you're not using string interpolation or spanning multiple lines, it still works the same. So, I mean, I kind of like it better. Anyway, that's beside the point. The last video was pretty lengthy, so I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter. Okie dokie. We've been using the keyword let a lot to define our variables, but JavaScript actually has another word that you can use to define variables, and that is const. Whenever you define something with const, you cannot change it after you assign it. So whereas when I do let x, I am allowed to set it equal to something else later on in the program. We'll comment this out temporarily. Those comments come in handy. 3 and 4. It let me change it. Let is pretty easygoing. Const, however, is very strict. Let's use those backticks because they're just so much cooler. Strict indeed. Type error, invalid assignment to const name. Okay, so though this may seem kind of like a hassle, like why would you want to use something that kind of generates more errors? Well, you'll eventually get to the point you realize errors aren't all necessarily bad. In fact, errors can be very good whenever the errors let you know ahead of time something in your code isn't working quite right, rather than something that silently fails. I would so much rather have my code throw an error than silently fail and never find the error. You know what I mean? So there are many times in a program where you'll assign something once and know that you won't ever have to assign it again, and you're actually hoping it never does get assigned again. They'll just be like, well, think about a conversion factor. We had our table before. You know, if you wanted inches to centimeters is 2.54. That should never change. So you should use const. If anyone ever tries to change inches to centimeters, ever, it's going to end up breaking all the rest of the code to follow. Okay, so we'll make it a const to guarantee that that will never change. It makes your code just a little bit more bulletproof, I suppose. I like using const. Perhaps I overuse it, but now that I've talked about it, I will start using it in my videos, and you'll get an idea of where you can and can't use it. I mean, you can use it anywhere where you can use let, but you just have to think ahead of time if you're planning on reassigning the variable or not. Anyway, that's that's const. And it's time for a challenge. We're going to practice objects a little bit more. The challenge for this video is to create a game object that has a score property. And the score property will be anything from 1 to 100, and as the output, I want you to console.log something in the form of game.score. But before you do that, you need to increase the value of game.score by 1. And that is the challenge, is to figure out how to mutate, to change the value of a property in a relative way, to increment essentially by 1. Alright, that's the challenge. It should be sweet and simple, and I hope you've enjoyed the shorter video after the very long object introduction video. Well, thanks for watching. See you next time.